They thought she was just another quiet black girl. New, alone, easy to mess with. They had no idea who she really was, and they definitely didn't know who her mother was. What happened in that parking lot changed everything. A moment of cruelty, an unexpected voice, and a lesson those boys would never forget. But it didn't end there. What came next turned an entire school upside down. If you think you know how this ends, trust me, you don't. Watch till the end for the twist that left everyone speechless. Before we dive in, don't forget to like if you feel the truth in this story. Comment your thoughts below. We read every word, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful real stories that move your soul. Now, let me tell you what really happened that day. The first day at Jefferson High felt heavier than Nia Thompson expected. She stood at the gates, backpack tight on her shoulders, chin high but stomach swirling. It was a fresh start, sure, but one that came with unfamiliar eyes and too many questions. She was one of only a few black students in the whole school. Nia had just moved from Atlanta to this small Georgia town with her mother, Dr. Michelle Thompson, a well-respected educator who had recently accepted the job as Jefferson High's new head principal. But no one at school knew that Nia was her daughter. They agreed to keep it that way. Nia didn't want special attention. She just wanted to be herself. But Jefferson didn't make it easy. By the second week, Nia noticed them, 4 senior boys who moved through the school like it belonged to them. Jake, Logan, Chase, and Tanner, star athletes, sons of wealthy parents. Teachers looked the other way when they laughed too loud or pushed too far. Most students feared them. Some even admired them. But Nia saw through it. She saw the way they whispered when students of color walked by. The jokes laced with racism, the smug grins, the coded words, the subtle stares. It started small with her. A comment here, a laugh there, snide remarks in class, passive-aggressive jokes in the cafeteria. "You lost, sweetheart? This isn't your neighborhood," Jake once said in the hallway as his friends laughed. Nia ignored them. She focused on her books, on her goals, on keeping her head high. Her mother had always told her, "You're allowed to be tired, but never let them take your light." But one Thursday afternoon, it went too far. Nia had stayed late for a tutoring session. The school halls were quiet, the sky outside fading into a dusty orange. She walked toward the back parking lot to wait for her mom when she heard voices behind her. Well, look who's still here." Jake. He was flanked by the others, walking slowly toward her like they had all the time in the world. "I bet she's sneaking around," Logan grinned. "Looking for something to steal." "Maybe she's waiting on her ride from the projects," Chase chuckled. Nia stood her ground. Her palms were sweating, but she didn't show it. "You know what's sad?" she said, voice steady. "You actually think you're funny." That hit a nerve. Jake's smile dropped. He stepped closer. "You think you're better than us, huh?" he sneered. "You're just a charity case in a fancy school." Tanner grabbed at her backpack. "Let's see what you're hiding in here." "Don't touch me," Nia said sharply, backing away. Just then, a voice exploded from the doorway behind them. "Hey, what are you doing?" They all froze. Dr. Michelle Thompson stood tall in the fading sunlight, her heels clicking loudly on the pavement as she marched toward them. "Office? Now?" she said. Her tone was so fierce that none of them dared say a word. They followed her like children caught red-handed. Inside her office, the boys slouched in chairs, trying to play it cool. But their confidence was cracking. Dr. Thompson closed the door and turned toward them slowly. "You think you're powerful because you can humiliate people?" she said, voice calm but deadly. "You think that makes you men?" Logan mumbled. "We didn't mean anything by it." "Oh, but you did," she snapped. "And here's what you didn't know. Nia Thompson is my daughter." Their heads jerked toward her, mouths open. No one spoke. "She didn't want you to know, because she wanted to earn her way here. And she has, despite the way you've treated her. Despite the way you treat anyone who doesn't look like you." Jake lowered his head. "You want punishment?" Dr. Thompson continued. "Fine. I could suspend you, expel you, report you, but none of that will teach you a thing. So here's what I'm going to do." She handed each of them a thick folder. "Starting Monday, you will report to me after school. You will participate in the Mirror Project. It's not extra credit. It's not optional. It's education you clearly missed." The next few weeks weren't easy for the boys. Every day after school, they sat through uncomfortable discussions. They read stories of injustice, listened to people who had lived through things they never imagined. They watched documentaries on racism, mass incarceration, and historical erasure. They were asked hard questions, made to write reflections, and, most painfully, to face themselves. At first, they mocked it behind her back, laughed in private, but then something began to shift. Chase sat in stunned silence after watching a film about wrongful convictions. Logan asked a guest speaker why he never fought back when police targeted him. Jake broke down after reading about Emmett Till. Tanner, who'd barely spoken before, shared that he never realized how many times he laughed at things that weren't funny. Then came the day they had to write letters. Real ones. Apology letters to the students they had harassed, including Nia. Jake wrote, "I didn't just fail to respect you. I failed to see you. I understand now. I'm sorry." Chase wrote, "My silence made me guilty. I want to be louder for the right reasons now." They asked for a meeting with Nia. She agreed. They stood in front of her, humble and unsure. Jake stepped forward. "We're sorry, not just for what we did, but for who we were." Nia looked at them for a long time. "I don't forgive you because you said sorry," she said. "I forgive you because I believe people can change, but that change is on you now, not me." The boys nodded. By the end of the semester, everything had changed. Word had spread. Students started opening up. A racial equity group was formed. Teachers who once stayed quiet started joining conversations. Naya had gone from the quiet new girl to a quiet leader. And on the final day of school, during a packed auditorium assembly, something no one expected happened. Jake, Logan, Chase, and Tanner walked onto the stage. Jake looked into the crowd. "This school gave us privilege," he said, "but Nia Thompson gave us perspective." He turned to the front row. "Thank you for standing strong when we were at our worst. You helped us become better." The crowd was silent, then rose to its feet in applause. Dr. Thompson stood beside her daughter afterward, eyes shining with pride. "You okay?" she asked. Nia nodded. "Better than okay." They walked out of the auditorium together, heads high, because Nia didn't just survive Jefferson High. She transformed it, and they never saw it coming. They tried to break her, but she didn't bend. They thought they were teaching her a lesson, but in the end, she taught them one they'd never forget. Not with fists, not with anger, but with truth, strength, and grace. Sometimes the quietest ones carry the loudest power, and sometimes the people you underestimate the most are the ones who change everything. If this story touched you, even just a little, hit that like button to show love. Comment below and tell us, what would you have done if you were Nia? Share this with someone who needs to be reminded of the power of courage. And subscribe for more stories that open eyes, move hearts, and leave you thinking long after the video ends. This is Storytime with Rose, and we don't just tell stories, we change the way people see the world. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and keep standing for what's right.